Hey, my name is Loveless, and I'm going to talk about Mooncall, which is by Patricia Briggs. This is the number one series that I love so much that I would literally continuously keep rewatching or reading the books. I only say watching because in my mind I'm actually watching it because it's more of a movie in my head, not as if I'm just reading words off a page. But also I'm not even reading. I don't read the physical copy because I'm just too lazy to do so. I just rather watch the audiobook or read it, listen to it, whatever. So, with this one, it all surrounds the protagonist being Mercy Thompson. She changes into a coyote, which they call her. She calls herself a walker. She was born and raised, well, pretty much born and raised, with werewolves. But since she changes to a coyote, she's kind of the odd one out. So being very lonely and blah blah blah. But there was a thing that happened with one of the werewolves that happened to be very very old, and because most werewolves, like the female werewolves, cannot actually give birth whatsoever because the fetus cannot withstand the transformation of shifting on the full moon. So with that, the old as hell werewolf saw Mercy, since she can change and it doesn't really affect and it's super quick, that she could actually have a baby and the baby would live. So with that, he kind of manipulated her into kind of loving him, and so that once the Merrock, which is the alpha of all alphas, saw this, he had to put a stop to it. So he pretty much had her be sent away, and then with that, she pretty much grew up into an independent woman, which it brings us into now, which is where the book starts. That where she's just a mechanic. She's just trying to get by, and she just happens to live across the street from a alpha of her area, and he's pretty much told to watch over her. And he's divorced. He has a kid. The divorced wife is a complete asshole. I mean, the wife is not the kindest person in the world. It pretty much talks about the miracle wants to bring the werewolves to be noticed, to be the front, to actually be out in the public, because their secret of werewolves is actually public knowledge. So with the werewolves being public knowledge, that means people can actually blackmail them, which is not good for them. So the Merrock is wanting to bring control of how the public sees werewolves. Because if the public actually sees them as enemy number one, or as an extinct species, or just anything that's not even close to human, it won't be very good with them, because then all the hunters and all the people, and then everyone would just go killing werewolves just for sport and everything. And it would just be very bad. And with that, of course, people want to actually stop, or somewhat stop that from happening. And so there was actually this drug that was being produced. That can actually actually stop and detain and limit a werewolf's ability to actually heal. Which in this world, silver is actually very harmful to the werewolf. The werewolves, it actually is very hard for a werewolf to get drunk. They have to drink lots and lots of alcohol. And so the same thing would be for any type of prescription or things that you put on for pets to actually knock out an elephant or something. But they just have a concoction of silver and then the ketamine or something to stop it. So, and with this, that Mercy and Adam, which is the alpha that lives across the street, will have to actually stop them and find out what's going at the bottom of this. Now, if I was to actually rate this book, I'd rate it a 3 out of 5 3.5 out of 5. Because it's okay. It's not the best thing. Her later books actually gotten much better. It's just the first part. It's kind of rough with the whole understanding the character, getting a real grasp of what's going on and what the actual character is like, and then what are her habits and such. And also understanding on Adam and Mercy's relationship and seeing how they kind of like each other, but they're being all. It's Mercy's being all not wanting to trust and wanting to be an independent woman, and demanding alpha, and it just goes with that stuff. So if you ever watch, like, read, listen to, whatever, that it'll become like pretty knowledgeable. It's like, okay, it's a common thing. It's more of a romance story, and it's like, okay, yeah, it has a little bit of battle, yeah, yeah. So it's like a 3.5. So I would totally recommend, if anyone actually likes werewolves, likes the romance, likes the drama, then they should totally pick up this book. The author is great. Most of her books are amazing, and I will certainly be doing this much longer. Okay, that's it. Bye.